right, folks. First glitch of the evening. Always wonderful. Thank you for being here. Not sure what happened there with the intros. Thank you for being here, everybody. I am Luigi Greenberg. This is Skeptical Robot, and it is never a show without something fucking up immediately. Let me bring out my co-host, CornDiff.
Hey, Luigi.
Hey, what's happening? How are you? Were you back there tinkering with the wires and stuff?
Not me.
Nothing can ever fucking go right. Never, ever can ever fucking go right. Jesus.
Luigi, you've really, like, for your own sanity, man, you gotta lower your expectations.
I really do.
It's way better when you just are pleasantly surprised that a show doesn't blow up.
Hey, we already got our first super chat of the evening.
Well, it's tremendous.
Hamhead, thank you for the 666. I'm here to chew bubblegum and request fart drops, and baby, I'm all out of gum. Hamhead, you came. Yes, we are so glad to have you here, and you came to the right place. And we have something for you, sir. Please enjoy.
Reverend Hamhead, the man of the feast, bringing vague glories from pork to the least. The ham slab savior, Sunday's grand chef. Farts like symphonies, the room holds its breath. Pass the ham, pass the plate, he's divine. Breaking bread with the laugh, toasting swine. Got the pulpit glowing, aroma in tow. Reverend Hamhead, the hero we know. Apron on, Bible tucked, grease-stained holy book. Fat marbled gospel, the flavor he cooked. Smoke spiral sermons, blessing the chow. Explain scripture with crackling somehow. He's the dude in the pew, dropping truth with the squeak. Gospel gas, air bass hits unique. No malice, just balance, joy in the air. Revs love a ham and flatulence stays rare. Double glazed ribs, sermons off kilter. Pigs in the pulpit, no shame in the filter. Congregation.
Hamhead, thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the encouragement. Thank you for all that you do, sir. I have no fucking clue how much Gummi nailed me with one photo. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Hamhead. And also, before we bring out our guest this evening, we have one other one. Someone has been very, very supportive lately. This is for you, Donna G. Thank you, Donna G, for all the support. Thank you to everyone for all the support. Every little bit counts. If it is just watching the show, we are happy that you're here. Thank you so much to those who help out with the memberships and the super chats. We appreciate you and love you. Oh, look at that. Donna G, thank you for the $19.99. I am excited for tonight's topic. It's something I can understand. Thank you, Gummi and Luigi. Thank Gummi. Now, thank you so much, Donna G, for everything. We appreciate you here. Also, wanted to put out an offer that Gummi Chainsaw is going to be making, that if you would like your own intro please send us a $25 super chat. Contact Gummi Chainsaw in the chat to arrange for your own intro. If that interests you, you know.
How could it not?
How could it not? Everybody loves those. Now, all right. Enough bullshitting around. Let's get
start dicking around. Let's get started.
Let's get to our guest. Tonight's guest is a dear friend of mine, co-host for the unboxing series, my friend, my mentor, DJ Electra. DJ Electra Fry, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. Damn, that gets me so pumped up. I love that intro.
It's so great, isn't it? It's just, I mean, it's just so great. Thank you, Gummi Chainsaw, for just being so awesome, so creative, and just knowing what gets people going. How great is it? They're all so fucking awesome.
Yeah, you guys should get your own. If you want an intro, just, you can pump yourself up like any day of the week. You know, if you're feeling down, just play your own intro for yourself for no reason. It's awesome.
The best compliment that I've gotten so far, or whatever we want to call them, I guess just, you know, or a compliment to Gummi, how's that? Was we had Eckel on not too long ago, and he's not a pro wrestling fan. And I mean, I'll admit, I'm not really either, but those were just so great. And Eckel said, I really thought those were cheesy, and I did one for him. He said, I thought those were so cheesy until I saw the one you did for me, and I thought, oh my God, I'm beautiful.
Nice.
I was like, exactly right. They just get you so pumped up.
Oh yeah.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about this. Let's see. I was trying to get your background into it. But let's talk a little bit about this topic. You and our friend Casey Day were on a few weeks ago. I guess it was a little over a month ago. And we played a game. You were the only one that participated in the game.
Kinda, yeah.
I want to make that abundantly clear. You were the only one that played along. And you won. And I didn't tell everyone else what the prize was because, well, honestly, I thought they were all going to pick stupid things, so I had different prizes for everyone. For you, I trusted you, and I said, okay, well, since you won, you get to pick a topic. And the topic that you picked is so great.
I'm glad you liked it.
I love it. I mean, it was so perfect, and it was something that I actually had really wanted to look into myself. And we're going to be talking tonight about ghost hunting equipment and how it is all nonsense. It is really stupid bullshit. Stachunksta, yes, I know you would have picked something stupid. I probably would have suggested giving you a different prize. Stachunksta actually knows what appeals to me. Stachunksta, please let me know if I can talk about what you sent me earlier. It's pretty great. Let's see here. Mandy Diff, thank you for celebrating 4 months of membership. Thank you so much. Hold on. Where's my...
I waved my tinfoil hat
There
at
you go. There's my air horn. Thank you, Mandy Diff. Thank you so much. All let's see here. Now, so we have got a little package here ready to go to talk about the ghost hunting equipment. But I do want to ask you, tell me a little bit about why you picked this. Is this something that like is in your own life you laugh at or scoff at? Just kind of curious, what brought this to mind?
I don't really know, but I've seen some really great videos that are ghost hunting, and they're just so fake that they make me laugh. Really, they're using
It's
these
bullshit.
little radios, and it sounds like a morning show just glitching a couple times, and it's really funny. So I thought it would be a great topic, and you would dig into it and get really scientific and nerdy about it, and I thought it was awesome.
That's what I plan to do. Now,
Yeah.
Mandy Diff with the chat need farts. I almost forgot to talk about something special tonight. That is, okay. I see we got this. Now, hold on one second. Mandy Diff. All right. I'm going to have to figure out how to do this quickly because I'm just not great about it. But tonight, I'm going to be introducing a new element to the show, which is the fart mic.
Oh god.
This is a dedicated microphone for my butthole.
Oh my God.
He did
So-
say before the show he's never putting it near his mouth again.
Yes. So I'm
Now that he's
making the
gonna fart on it.
announcement tonight. This is the last time I will be making this announcement. So here we go. Just had a couple slices of pizza. We'll see where the night takes us.
Now, how do you have that set up? Is it like taped to your chair, or is there a special stand for it?
I have an extra input on my. You heard me. I have an extra input on my or a source. I'm sorry, an extra source on
Third
my
input?
on my Roadcaster.
Where did you stick the mic? That's what we're all wondering.
So I got a wired mic and I wired it into the source, and so it's going to be a handheld wired mic that is near my other microphone. So when I feel the urge coming, I'm going to have to mute one mic, unmute the other, grab the microphone, put it up next to my ass. So now,
As one does.
I have to admit, I am kind of stealing this idea. I've seen another podcast do this, but I felt that my fans would still enjoy it.
Okay.
All right. Yes. So I totally agree with you. Now, you brought a video. We're ghost hunting equipment, not fart mics. I saw that you brought some video, so let's play this. But yes, I agree with you. It's all bullshit. And like the source of it is bullshit. The pseudoscience of it, because it's not based on anything other than people speculating. Missing in action. That is why I'm making only one announcement. If anyone asks from here on out, hey, what's that sound? I'm going to say, please watch and listen to episode 26 from May 16th, 2025. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this video that you brought.
Okay, so Caroline, thank you for sitting down with us. Can you tell us why you think that there's somebody living in that house?
I don't know if it's a person or what. The only time I've been down there was to take that video and something grabbed me.
Are you sure it isn't just like a homeless person living down there?
No, you have to believe me. I've been hearing screaming and screaming.
These people aren't acting at all. This all seems so very genuine
So
and
realistic.
sincere.
It's organic.
down there.
Organic, that was the better word, yes.
And I've been staying at my friend's house.
Oh, that was scary though.
Ooh, stupid.
It was at the door last night. It's like it knew I was there. It was like
Oh my God.
What is it? What is this from? Is this from Lifetime?
Yeah.
God, I don't even know. There are two guys named Parker and Chester, and this is their ghost hunting business.
Well, they're dumb and they're stupid, and their stupid video makes me stupid,
Oh,
and
it
their
only lasts
stupid
for like 2
haircuts,
minutes.
and their stupid faces. Hamhead with the 666. Thank you so much, Hamhead. You are awesome. That was not from the fart mic. that tank has not been filled yet. Next week, 1 can of Hormel chili, 3 hard-boiled eggs, and wash down with a beer or 2, then start the show. Hamhead, for you, I'll make that happen. Thank you, Hamhead. 666. I appreciate it. Okay. Farts are the ghosts of poop. It is ghost hunting equipment. I have not heard a more logical argument about anything ever. Thank you, Gummi Chainsaw. Again, Gummi Chainsaw, making an offer. If you want your own WWE intro, please let us know. Okay, so do we have to finish this?
Yeah, it's quick.
I know. I'm joking. They're assholes.
They are.
Lizard, thank you for the $5. Luigi now has his own ghost hunting equipment. We all know farts. For some good fast food. And their messages from beyond the veil. All right, Dang Lizard. I think your thunder got stolen from the last chat from Gummi. If you put something else up, I will gladly put it up for you. Dang Lizard, thank you very much. I appreciate it. The $5 caterpillar dollars, your caterpillar money. I always think that the euro sign looks like a caterpillar. That's why I say that. I know it's hacky and stupid, but literally when I look at it, I always squint and I think, what is that? Oh, that's the euro sign. So,
kind of looks like a croissant.
That's good. I like that too. Croissant, yes.
I get confused when there's euro and then there's the pound one, and I'm reading on Blind Mike Project, and it's like, which one is it? And
Don't get me started on yen.
oh God. Some of them, I'm like, what is this?
Yen. That one looks like a tiny little bug to me, the yen one. Anyway. All right. These assholes.
You're stalling, Luigi.
I am.
So why haven't you called the police yet?
I did. They didn't believe me. I just need you guys to help me.
Why would you call the police?
How's he got sunglasses on?
What are the police going to do? They're going to arrest the ghost? Yeah, and why does he have sunglasses on? Yes.
Look at the walls are so bare. Are they in a mental institution? What's going on?
It looks like this is a house they found.
Yeah, they're squatters, totally.
One of their dads just got divorced, and this is his house.
Yes, totally. I agree.
Go with that.
Okay.
Someone in chat said that one of the guys is in jail or something. They were out of Penn State, and this guy is in prison now. I think that's what he's talking about. This video
wouldn't surprise me. Looks like they're trying to fraud somebody with this stupid video. And also, if this was the thumbnail, I just need you guys to help me. What would you think this video was?
Totally.
A lamp commercial.
Yeah. Look what a nice lamp you have there.
Wait, hold on. This douche on the right also had an older gay guy he used to take along with him that spoke to ghosts.
Wow.
Ugh, God, those are the worst. I actually did a little bit of research because I wanted to do a show on a medium who talked to ghosts, to talk to dead people. I couldn't stand watching the video. It was like it sickened me. All right, let's finish this.
Put some cameras down there and record everything that happens tonight. Just go stay at your friend's house tonight and let us work, okay?
Okay, thank you.
And if we don't find anything, you'll go back into that house and not be afraid, okay?
I guess so.
Bro, do you think it's safe to be going to this house alone?
It's nighttime.
This is so stupid. It's just so stupid.
Yeah, dude, we've done this before.
Dude, that video she sent us is terrifying. I don't know if I feel okay about this.
Listen, we only gotta be there for one night.
They're gonna write.
This is exhausting because, they're terrible actors.
We just gotta see what's going on. We're gonna be fine.
I just really hope we don't find anything. All right, pull over. I think this is the place.
This is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't look that bad at all.
Oh yeah, that house that we can clearly see out the window in the pitch black night, it doesn't look that bad at all. That house, I can tell from the outside, definitely doesn't have a dude in the basement. So they head into the house and go down to the basement where there's poop all over the floor, and they put cameras all around so they can see what's going on from the comfort of their car.
What the hell is that?
I don't know, dude, let's go in.
Go in there? Are you insane?
Dude, this is our job.
That thing isn't human. Let's just call the police. We already have the footage.
Is this for real?
Yeah, this is a real YouTube show. Yeah, it's called Life of Luxury, I guess.
This is beautiful.
What in the world? Wow.
Bro, I'm not going in there.
All right, dude, let go of me.
Yo, wait, don't go in yet. Don't go in yet. Take the walkie-talkie.
All right, fine. Chester.
Did you copy? What's going on?
I hear something, bro.
Dude, just get out of there.
I think that Parker might be the least sneaky person on the planet. He's walking around a dark basement, trying not to be seen, all the while shining a—
Dude, just get out of there.
I wouldn't either.
Right?
Wait, so
So weird. That's how it ends.
I'm very lost on this. Do they sell that as a real show?
Yeah.
You're still in shock, Luigi. I understand.
I am. Like, that's so awful. Like, it's not just bad. I feel like someone's punking me. Like, that's so terrible.
It was really bad. And that's kind of how I feel about most of those ghost hunter shows, though. Even though they have their little toys and all these expensive gadgets, you know, they're just bullshitting us too.
Wow.
Can I tell you the latest show I've been watching?
Oh, please.
Ghost Brothers.
Ghost?
Wow. I've never seen that. What is that about?
Is that the two twins?
Three black friends from Atlanta go around ghost hunting.
Oh my God. I must see that.
I gotta say I'm intrigued. Huh. That's interesting. In doing research, I did learn, there's a show with these two twins. That's what I thought you were talking about. It almost sounds like Property Brothers, but they're two different twins. That is crazy. Like,
And you remember I've been on a few ghost hunts.
I remember.
You have.
Oh, tell your story about when you thought that you heard someone say your name.
Oh, we did an overnight stay at an old hospital, and one of the guys I was with, I thought he called my name from when I was out in the hallway, and turns out he was just in there taking a shit, so it wasn't him. And I don't know. I heard it clear as day, but wasn't nobody around.
Wow. That's spooky, though.
But I was also running on like an hour of sleep, so I attribute it to just fucking lack of sleep.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get started with our package.
She said package.
Hit like.
Yes, please hit like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends. Shit. I thought I had this already set up and ready to go. I did not. Vamp.
And one.
Okay, here we go. And I'm okay with just watching the corn for 2 hours. How's that sound?
The corn dance, hell yeah.
Buskin' for a huskin'. We got to do. We're gonna have to do something with that. Okay, so we are going to cover tonight the most standard of equipment. Missing in action. You were worrying too much about the fart mic. Missing in action. You don't know how right you are. That is, I will admit, I was very concerned about the fart mic. So we're going to be covering your typical stuff: EMF meters, let's see, REM pods, spirit boxes, and one that I wasn't too aware of: flashlights. You know anything about flashlights?
We talking about the laser flashlights?
No, you're just your typical, like, a mag flashlight. We'll watch. It was something I wasn't aware of that apparently a lot of ghost hunters use.
Got the old loose battery on there and it kind of flickers now.
Exactly. Yes, you already know. So we're going to learn.
That's how you know the spirits are near, Louise.
We're going to learn how those work and how the circuitry works on those to explain all of those false positives that they get. Now, I want to just start from the beginning and say this is bullshit. There is nothing about this that has any scientific value because of the fact that you can't even call it a science, because we don't know that ghosts exist for real. So anything to catch said ghost is also just completely based in theory. Honestly, stuff people heard in movies and then they started making theories about them. There is no logical connection between any of these things and our spirits that live on after we are dead. So everything that we are talking about doesn't even necessarily need to be debunked because of the fact that it hasn't even been bunked to be debunked.
Well, if you put it that way, that is true.
There's no scientific value, basis, connection, logical connection, reasonable connection, attenuated connection between these things and ghosts. They are simply people LARPing and then trying to make money off of it on TV shows. Now, let's start.
Wow.
This is an EMF meter, electromagnetic field meter. This is a device that measures the strength and fluctuations of electromagnetic fields. It typically consists of a sensor.
Now, this is in fact a real tool used by people who need to measure electromagnetic fields. An electrician, I guess, a plumber maybe, would actually need an EMF meter. That's why these things exist. Someone out there made the connection and said, maybe there's a connection between electromagnetic fields and that thing that I read in a book that is make-believe about where we go when we die. Again, no logical connection whatsoever, but someone made a connection. But pay close attention, CornDiff, because we are going to see something kind of funny and maybe a little familiar with this story.
And a series of coloured lights to show the reading. Paranormal investigators use EMF meters to detect unusual or anomalous electromagnetic field fluctuations that may be associated with paranormal activity. It's believed that spirits or entities can manipulate electromagnetic energy, leading to spikes or fluctuations in the readings.
It was used a lot in the early shows and still continues through with some of the other shows that are still on TV now. It is a very cheaply made device. It consists of 5 lights and an EMF scale. It is a single-axis EMF detector. And again, I'll just have to remind you, we'll have a video about EMF separately on that you can check out to understand the difference between the different types of EMF detectors. But it's unshielded, meaning that there's nothing to prevent any sort of EMF field from reaching its detector and basically setting it off. It can be set off by literally anything that provides an EMF signal. So,
now, what that's saying is that a lot of things give off electromagnetic fields, and therefore a lot of things can set off these while people are trying to look for their dead people floating with sheets around them.
Right.
So that really can just be anything. An electrical circuit nearby, wires in a wall. Where are these mostly used? In homes, haunted houses. And also, I've even heard that it could set itself off because it's using a battery. It detects itself, which makes logical, scientific sense. Anyway.
Such as a cell phone, such as, I don't know, a Wi-Fi modem that can also set off these devices.
Walkie-talkies.
Walkie-talkies. CB radios, truck drivers.
Dang Lizard, that's just as perfectly good logic as what is currently used. To say that ghosts give off a radioactive field. Why not?
Radios have miles that they can be detected by. These are all things that can set off a K2 meter. And why is this a problem? Because people use a K2 meter when it goes off Some people refer to it as evidence of the paranormal. It looks
CVJ, no. A spirit box is different, and we are actually going to go into a spirit box in detail very soon. This is different. This is just an EMF reader, electromagnetic field reader, which is something that maybe a standard contractor would have in his pocket. Yeah.
Yeah, like an electrician.
An electrician.
That comes to your house. Like,
that comes to your house. They would have that. It's essentially like a stud finder finding studs in a wall.
Yeah.
This is looking for wires. That's all this is. Someone out there made this connection that somehow that's where ghosts are, in the walls with the wires.
All right, devil's advocate here.
Okay, I'm happy to. It's perfectly fine. Go ahead.
How do you explain EMF spikes in abandoned locations with the power shut off and they're away from wiring, and it's only when you ask a question?
I've never seen that, but if that's the case, I would probably attribute that to camera tricks, lying grifters who are trying to put on a show. And also, there's usually a cell phone in someone's pocket. So,
there you go.
Something paranormal is going on. There's really no way to determine that.
And the camera equipment that's filming it. So, yeah.
Even wireless interference can happen. So cell towers, or like residual energy that's left from the electrical outlets, even if it's cut off from power, there can still be, residual magnetism left.
If cell towers set those things off, I don't know how contractors would ever use them.
My hat might set it off. You never know.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing that's filming it is a camera. Like that's it's a piece of electrical equipment.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't believe any of this nonsense.
What that is telling you is that detector is detecting an EMF field. You have no way of determining where that field came from or why it's there. And so if you can't determine that, how can you turn around and say this device is now communicating with me? People will put it out and use it as a way to ask yes or no questions. Light it up to red, light it up to green if it's yes, and yellow if it's no. It's simply a waste of time. All EMF detectors in general can detect electromagnetic fields. They can be generated by many things.
This is a kid who was told Santa's fake when he was 5.
Now, here's what's crazy, and here's why I chose this video to play. Guess what these two guys do?
In real life?
They're ghost hunters.
Yeah. No, hey, one thing. If it were the camera setting off an EMF detector, then that would mean it's close enough to get into that field, and wouldn't it be setting it off continuously?
Sure. But I guess I would need to see what you're talking about. I've just not seen that scenario. But
right.
Probably. But also there's pulses, I really don't know. I've just never seen that scenario happen because I don't watch.
They're basically too sensitive.
Shows.
They're too sensitive. They go off for many different things. So they're not calibrated well or whatever. They can just go off and they're not very good.
Yeah. Let's see. Vagina Wrinkle 13 says phones do set them off. I have used one. Interesting. Were you hunting for ghosts? I might not allow you back in this chat. No, I am just curious.
A lot of people in chat have been ghost hunters. Even Gummi
I know,
was.
And I'm totally kidding. You're allowed to believe in whatever you like. We live in a free country. I am very biased, and the point of my show is just simply to say I don't buy it. I don't buy this stuff. I welcome anyone's evidence. I welcome anyone's discussion. CornDiff has been on ghost hunts, and look, I don't hold that against him. CornDiff's a great guy, and look at him dance. Shit, I don't have any music.
Ghostbusters.
No, I don't have any inherent hatred for anyone who does this sort of stuff. I really don't. I just don't like it. I just think it's stupid. I think it's silly. But I also think LARPing is stupid. I also think playing Dungeons and Dragons is stupid. I have friends who do that shit too. Not the LARPing. LARPing is dumb. I don't know if I could have a friend who did LARPing.
Isn't that the same as Dungeons and Dragons?
No.
I think that is LARPing, isn't it?
No.
One's on
Live
a board.
action role
One's on a
player.
board and one's out in a field.
Yeah, one's out in a field.
One has actual activity with it. I mean, I don't.
One's physical. One is playing on a board.
Okay.
But yeah. Let's see. Mr. Blue Sky, I'm with you.
I've never seen one.
Yeah, I haven't either. Only in the movies.
And that is all. They are not ghost detectors.
So what is the connection between ghosts and
Recently,
EMF
I
meters?
spoke about how maybe it's time for a change when it comes to paranormal investigators using specific tools. In this case, the K2 meter. I've had this for quite some time. I've used it in my own little thing. I've run many tests of it with it. So just before I made this video, I wanted to do some real world.
Hold on. Gummi Chainsaw, the LARPing? I'm curious. Does he take offense to LARPing or the confusion between the LARPing? I would really like to know.
Tests just in a natural environment, nothing haunted, no ghosts, just a crappy looking garden.
So what we see there is he's just using this EMF meter on random things and it's setting it off because there's an inherent electrical charge in a lot of things, or because these things are just bullshit.
Interesting.
High on the alien penis.
I would expect the alien penis to give off an electrical charge.
Yes.
Because I know mine does.
You know, the equipment is a legit electromagnetic frequency detector. Now, EMF detectors, it's nothing new. It's not, they weren't made for ghost hunting, they weren't made for paranormal investigating. They were made to legitimately detect electric frequencies, wiring. You know, if you're doing a building, if you're knocking down a wall, you want to make sure you're not going to knock down the outlet which you put your hairdryer in all the time. I have that problem.
Okay. The similarity to LARPing accusation. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for almost 40 years.
I am so sorry, Gummi Chainsaw. I take it all back. I did not know. I thought they were both the same and fine with me. I'm fine with them both. You know?
This is how we learn.
This is how we learn.
Yeah. I'm going to start doing them both, okay?
I accept all peoples, no matter
now
what.
We're all a little more open-minded.
Next episode, debunking LARPing. Gummi Chainsaw, please show him some love. Give him some support. He's fantastic.
All the time. So EMF detectors are nothing new in the grand scheme of things. They've been around for a long time, but in this specific area of ghost hunters, EMF detectors, as for ghost hunting, only really came into prominence in the mid-70s to early 80s.
Okay, so this is where I want you to pay attention, CornDiff, please. Hopefully you will you will remember this reference. I think you will. But yeah, you'll see.
That's when they started testing them. That's when...
Okay, so this guy just said that the connection between EMF readers and ghosts didn't really get popular until the 70s and 80s. Like, this is a fairly new concept of linking those two.
Individuals started, you know, saying, I wonder if this means there's a ghost about. When their little Gauss meter, because that's what it was, a milligauss meter, was detecting electromagnetic frequencies. And some theorized or hypothesized maybe a high frequency of electromagnetic frequency, or EMF, is the presence of a ghost. Or
okay, so he has a very thick accent. I just want to catch us all up to make sure we're listening to him. He's just saying someone theorized maybe there's a connection between electromagnetic fields and these spooky sheet people walking around my house.
spirit, or potentially could mean that there is a ghost in this area because of the high EMF detected. That was the theory back in the 70s and the 80s when they started testing this stuff out in paranormal environment. Now, as far as ghost hunting, these weren't really tested in a controlled environment. They were always tested in supposedly haunted houses, in haunted mansions, hospitals. They were never really tested in a laboratory environment. As far as ghost hunting I'm talking about now. There were some tests done in the 80s in a controlled environment, but it wasn't really EMF related. It was more of if it would cheat your brain into thinking that you're going through a haunting experience by creating certain conditions to mess with your eyes, infrasound and ultrasound, that kind of thing. That's the only really control.
So he's saying, go ahead.
I was going to say, how are they going to test it in a laboratory? How are they going to get ghosts in there and control, test subjects? I mean,
that is exactly my point.
Have you not seen 13 Ghosts?
I haven't.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Or Ghostbusters. Dan Aykroyd walks around with an EMF meter right before he gets a blowjob from a ghost. Does anybody remember that? There's a blowjob scene in Ghostbusters.
It was a very sexual movie. Sexual.
That is such an odd scene. I recently watched it as an adult and just was like blown away by it. I was like, that's a ghost giving Dan Aykroyd a blowjob in a PG movie. Anyway, but yes, that's my whole point, is that there is no way to prove that there is a link between these two. We might as well say that they're detecting dragons because there are no dragons to test. Might as well say that they're detecting fairies because there's no fairies to detect.
I know a few.
I don't think we have any evidence that fairies emit electromagnetic waves.
Fun.
There wasn't a super chat, but it just seemed like the right time to do that. That's the corn fairy.
That's right.
Did by corn.
So, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Experiments
Electra?
which have been done as far as that is concerned. The parapsychologists in the 1970s and 80s, they did do tests, like I said, out in the field when it came to EMF detectors. And it was mainly if someone said, I'm being haunted, please come to my house and help out. They would go there and they would test the frequencies, the EMF around the area in the house, and they would go all through the house. A lot of the times they picked up high EM frequencies. If you go to these places without the knowledge of a haunting, or if completely,
Mr. Chunksta, so then it works. I'd like to buy this rock. Mr. Chunksta always drops in Simpsons references. That's a reference. That's a reference to the Simpsons.
for something completely different, i.e. a building contract, you would realize that you're picking up wiring, electrical outlets, metal. There's EMF everywhere, from low to high. This is what you gotta realize when using these detectors. Now, the three people who are usually credited with coming up with the theory, or not the theory, sorry, or saying that this is what detects
listen to this, CornDiff.
Are Michael Persinger, Hans Holzer, and John Hutchinson.
Does that name sound familiar, Mr. CornDiff?
Which one specifically?
Hans Holzer.
It sounds like a German fella.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you were going to remember that. So...
I haven't said that I do yet.
So I decided to make sure.
Canadian researcher John Hutchinson is often mentioned in paranormal circles due to his experiments that allegedly created paranormal-like phenomena using electromagnetic fields. Although his work was more focused on physics, it's contributed to the idea that EMFs could be associated with unexplained phenomena. Hans Holzer, a well-known paranormal investigator and author...
Did you hear that name? Hans Holzer. Still don't remember Mr. Holzer?
It was that guy.
All right.
Who was he?
Where have we heard that name before?
Harry William Weber contacts another paranormal expert, Professor Hans Holzer, regarding the still...
That's you, Mr. CornDiff, in the corner there.
abandoned house at 112
Hey, that's
Ocean
me.
Avenue. It is January 1977, nearly 1 year after.
Hans Holzer was the psychic investigator hired by William Weber, the lawyer to the Lutzes, investigating the Amityville Horror House.
Good man, very credible.
Oh.
The Lutzes ended their association with Ronald DeFeo Jr.'s trial lawyer.
He was the guy that their lawyer, after they screwed him out of the book deal, went and hired his own paranormal team to compete with the Warrens' research efforts in order to make his own research efforts, because he had committed to a book deal that he was about to lose with his publisher and was still trying to salvage what was left of it. He hired Mr. Holzer.
And that's what was done.
Among those joining the party was Professor Dr. Hans Holzer, America's most famous ghost hunter.
I particularly like this picture that clearly shows a white outlines of a horse.
Clearly.
Now,
I see it.
I did not see a horse. Now, listen to me ask Mr. CornDiff if he sees a horse.
I see a
Stop
heavy
this for
bag.
just a second and ask you if you see a horse in that picture.
Honestly, I see a man in a road worker's safety vest with a bucket on his head. Oh, there it is. There, I do see it now.
Precisely. So, are you any memories coming up of Hans Holzer?
I remember now. Yes.
Chucksta, thank you for the $10. We saw ghosts, we saw poltergeists, apparitions, vampires, werewolves, and witches, and swamp creatures, and gremlins, and ghoulies, and demons, and spiders, and ogres, and goblins, and dinosaurs, and warlocks, and sharks, and Mexicans. Chunksta, that's where my song comes from. I think you know that. And we've played that call a couple of times on the show. Infamous. That is my favorite. Is one of my favorite Richard Christie prank phone calls. He calls the show and says this. I think I got it. I think I have the audio here somewhere.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've ever heard it.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Ogres, witches, and swamp Mexicans.
I've played the call before. Hold on, let me find it. We'll play it. Yes. So now there was something else about Mr. I'm sorry, I have to put this up. It's my favorite. All right. Now, there's something else about Mr. Holzer that we discussed in the Amityville Horror episodes.
White pants, like long sleeve shirt.
What a coincidence. It's exactly what I see. He wrote Confessions of a Witch as told by Heather to Hans Holzer. Do you remember this, CornDiff?
Now I do.
This was a book that Hans Holzer wrote. He wrote erotic, softcore paranormal porn and had naked chicks on the covers of his books. We had to cover up those nipples with the robot and corn.
Wow. Do we get to read some of it like you guys did last week? I really want to read some. It looks so good.
Believe me when I tell you we searched high and low for the text of this book. We couldn't even find a description of the plot.
Oh my god.
Of this book. We searched everywhere because that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to read it. We could not. I literally wrote into Google plot of Confessions of a Witch as told by Heather to Hans Holzer. Could not find anything. I think it's out of print. Yes. So I thought maybe I didn't want to just lead with this one because I figured this would jog CornDiff's memory. But yeah. These are the people that we're dealing with who are creating the science behind ghost hunting, folks. They write softcore paranormal porn.
Yeah, like all of them.
Novelizations.
A well-known paranormal investigator and author, was one of the early figures to explore the
I didn't think about that. Gummi Chainsaw, man, this dude finds shit. If you need something found, he will find it. All right. Thank you, sir.
Connection between environmental factors like EMF and hauntings. While not specifically tied to EMF detectors, Holzer's work laid the groundwork for later investigations to consider technological methods for detecting ghosts. Michael Persinger, a neuroscientist who studied the effects of electromagnetic fields on the human brain, Persinger theorized that certain EMF conditions could trigger experiences perceived as paranormal. His work suggested that EMFs could play a role in creating the sensations associated with hauntings, leading some to believe that monitoring EMFs could help detect paranormal activity. They are the three usually credited on paranormal sites, paranormal books of, during the 70s and 80s, of purveying the theory of EMF being the factor when it comes to hauntings and ghosts and spirits. But back then it was just Gauss meters and, big machines to try and detect EMF. When it came to this form, it was popularized in the 2000s by Mr. Jason Hawes, Ghost Hunters, and other similar TV shows around at that time, like Ghost Adventures. Most Haunted didn't really use these as far as I can remember because they were a bit earlier than Ghost Hunters. But it was mainly Jason Hawes and Grant Wilson who popularized this theory that this is how you detect ghosts. Now, in their case, I'll give them that. They were trying something new. Not new, but they were trying something different. Because, they've obviously used EMF detectors because they were plumbers, I believe, or builders, I can't remember. And in that sense, they were trying something different when it comes to paranormal investigating. But the problem with that is now, and this is an argument I always give when someone says to me, this is how you detect ghosts. They tried the K2 meter, a smaller, more portable form of the EMF detector, back in the early 2000s. And as far as I can tell, it's not evidence, but all evidence they ever caught was circumstantial. There was nothing to ever corroborate the lights flickering on the K2 when they thought there was a ghost present.
I don't have anything else to add to that. I mean, that just really all makes sense to me. It really does. That there's just really no explanation because there's electromagnetic fields everywhere. So the fact that it just goes off just makes sense.
Ben Franklin used to electrocute turkeys.
He liked to do what?
He used to electrocute turkeys for fun. And Tesla believed he talked to pigeons.
Huh.
Really?
What's to do with that, do you?
I do not.
Well, no, I was just, I guess I was going down the route of, can we discredit them because they simply wrote a romance novel?
Oh, I'm joking. That's one guy. So I'm going to discredit him. I'll find something else to discredit everybody else.
You guys, I have the book.
Oh my God.
Say what?
I have the book. This is the true story of a beautiful young woman who today is the high priestess of a coven of witches.
Where'd you find that?
Archive.org.
Wait, so you have the text of the book?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Holy fucking shit. Okay. All right. Maybe, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make that members only content. That's what we'll do.
Okay.
All right. Oh, you know what? I found also the phone call, the prank phone call. This would be a good time to play this because I got to go pee. So we're going to take a quick pee break while I play the famous Richard Christie Halloween prank phone call, from which my theme song for this show comes from.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, wait.
This is fascinating. I've had a lot of paranormal experiences because I grew up in a haunted house as well.
Yes.
And the things that I saw have really affected me as an adult because when I was a kid...
Hold on. Something went wrong there. Hold on. Let's try this again.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
This is fascinating. I've had a lot of paranormal experiences because I grew up in a haunted house as well.
Yes.
And the things that I saw have really affected me as an adult, because when I was a kid at our house, we saw ghosts, we saw poltergeists, apparitions, vampires, and werewolves, and witches, and swamp creatures, and gremlins, and ghoulies, and demons, and spiders, and ogres, and goblins, and dinosaurs, and warlocks, and sharks, and Mexicans.
Rusty, welcome.
Hi.
That was it. Yes, that is where.
Happy.
Yeah.
You could have played my pee break song.
I don't have your pee break song, but I need a pee break song, honestly. Okay, let's see here, man. That okay. Wow, a lot of good news tonight. I can't believe you found that book. We need to make this happen. All right, let's go ahead and finish up with this asshole. I'm gonna skip some of this. I think we get it. We get the idea. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to flashlights. So stupid. Let's talk about fleshlights. That seems like more fun.
Yes, let's do it.
If you've looked into this before, you would already know it's just a trick, because there's been debunking videos on these things on YouTube for years now. But if you haven't seen anything about it and you keep watching people on the paranormal investigations and you think, wow, those torches and that flashlight technique are amazing, let me just show you what's going on here and that this is all a trick. Also, now that we're going to figure out how this works, we could possibly figure out if people are knowingly faking or they're just kind of mistaken when they're using them. So basically, what is...
So this guy is really trying to discredit this specific group that does ghost hunting on the internet. He does not like them, and they use flashlights. He is really like targeted this argument to them. But what's interesting though is that in my research for this episode, I found out this is pretty common. Like, they aren't the only ones that do this. There's lots of other ones. There's one show, the BuzzFeed Unsolved, that I really enjoy watching, which is they take one guy who believes in ghosts and one guy who doesn't believe in ghosts, and they send them on ghost hunting trips. And the comedy comes from the non-believer constantly berating the other guy, just saying, you're really stupid for believing this the whole time. But the believer uses flashlights on that show the exact same way. And I always thought it was really dumb, but I can't exactly articulate why it's stupid. We just know that it is because those things will just flicker. This guy is actually going to go into the science of the inner workings of the flashlight and as to why you get false positives and why they flicker. So I was like, this is fantastic.
What's going on is people put the torch onto a very specific point when turning it on. It's right at the spot where...
Tesla talked to pigeons? Yeah. Really? I've never heard that. That's really... It's always kind of funny to me when you hear about really smart people going crazy.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you think that there's like a very thin veil between the genius and the craziness. Like Bobby Fischer, you know, this genius guy who just decided to be homeless and blame the Jews for everything and give away millions of dollars. Anyway.
A slight tap on the torch can turn it...
Luigi.
Go ahead.
Just real quick. Near the end of his life, Tesla lived in New York hotels and spent much of his time feeding and caring for injured pigeons in nearby parks. He was especially attached to one particular white pigeon, and he openly admitted being in love with it.
Whoa, he was even in love with it.
Fucked a pigeon.
His own words were his own words were, I loved that pigeon as a man loves a woman, and she loved me. As long as I had her, there was a purpose to my life.
Oh my god.
Where's that movie? we need that movie. Fuck all these stupid Hollywood man loves woman and then a boat sinks movie. We need to remake.
Man loves pigeon. Oh my god.
Yes, Titanic, but it is Tesla and his pigeon.
It's beautiful.
And the pigeon throws the heart of the ocean over water. I'm thinking about this in my head. A pigeon on a big bed frame pushing Tesla off into the ocean.
Often the geniuses are eccentric. I guess this is maybe eccentric. Extreme eccentric.
Would fucking a pigeon kill it?
I think probably, yes.
Depends on the size of the pigeon.
I'm hoping that did not happen.
There's only one way to find out.
Those poor birds.
Oh,
Poor birds.
Poor birds.
On and
That's where rabies came from.
Little winged fleshlights.
A guy fucked a pigeon.
Oh, no.
Gross. But he loved it.
off. But this is where the problems start.
You ever seen that documentary about the guy who was fucking his horse and insisted to get married to it? You ever seen that You ever seen that?
No.
Maybe it was just me, but this guy, you can find it on the internet. You can find it like on YouTube. There's this guy talking about how he loves his horse, and he's like, where I put my dick ain't none of the government's business. and he has like a picture drawn of him in the horse, like a painting of him in the horse. Yeah. So now I'm thinking about Tesla and his pigeon. I'm going to make that happen with AI art. Hey, it's Travis. Man, that ain't the weirdest shit I'm watching. You have no idea. There's actually another documentary called Zoo, just the word ZOO. It is not pornography in any way. It's publicly available. There's no nudity or sexual content in it, but it tells the story about a guy who died because he let the horse fuck him.
No.
Mr. Hand?
And it ruptured his entire inner workings.
That's Mr. Hands.
That is not good.
Yes, that's it. You're right. Yeah, that's it. See, CornDiff knows.
Yeah.
That is really not good.
Like, it ripped him apart. And, yeah, he died.
Went out doing what he loved.
You can't blame the man. You do what you love, and the money will follow.
He was LARPing as a sheath for a meat sword.
But there's a documentary about it, and apparently the thing was he was part of a group of guys who liked doing this. And they interviewed the other guys, and just, things just weren't going right that day for that guy.
Because you have now...
Oh yeah, ghosts.
Now made the device you're going to use defective, so straight away you shouldn't trust it. If the torch was fully twisted and then turned on and off, I might be like, whoa, okay. But what is going on inside the torch is there is little metal parts that touch and complete the circuit to turn the light on. When you twist it off, it opens up those little metal parts and turns the torch off. When the torch is on, over time, it's going to get warm, right? Just from being on and being used. So when you've put it right on the edge of being on...
What do you think the ghost of Mr. Hands is doing? He is still very embarrassed. Horse accidentally went balls deep. I don't think there was an accident about it. The horse knew what it was doing. It just didn't care. Hey.
And off, those two little metal pieces are just slightly touching. Enough where the metal will still warm up from being in contact. When the metal does warm up, it expands and then touches more, turning the torch on. But those two pieces are still not properly touching, so they will cool down. Then when they cool down, the metal shrinks, turning the torch off. Over time, it just repeats that cycle over and over again. I did this for hours the other day. I just left them all day, and it just went and went and went on and off and on and off. It gets warm, turns on, cools down, opens up, turns off. Repeat and repeat.
So that is interesting to me by saying this is simply done by using the flashlight. If it was a flashlight that had never been used before, you open it right out of the box and then try to talk to a ghost, it probably wouldn't work, but nobody does that. People reuse these things. And also, we're going to talk a little bit about how they get heated by just being held. And anyway, I thought this was just such a fantastic explanation of such a stupid thing that these people do and say that it's ghosts.
The only difference is, say, if you get one straight out of the box or your investigation bag and then do it, the gaps between turning off and on will be long. If you've already warmed up your torch a bit by having it in your pocket or holding it in your hands for a few minutes, you kind of give it a head start, and because it's already warm...
Hey, where'd you go?
Hey, sorry about that. I had to reset my mic and my camera. Sorry.
No worries. All good.
Love tech.
I didn't see where you dropped off, but basically this guy is going through explaining why these flashlights go on and off. And he says that there's these two connector points that warm up, and as they warm up, they swell and they touch. And that's what causes this light to go off, these 2 points connecting. But the warmth doesn't have to come from a battery. It could come from holding it. It could come from being in a warm environment. What's interesting is that he's saying that because of the fact that they're warmed up and swell on multiple occasions, that they're easier to do it after being used. The point that would make this kind of a little bit more objective is if you took one right out of a box that had never been used before and then set it down, as opposed to, using it constantly, holding it. Anyway, so right now he's pointing out these particular ghost hunters who he really does not like. They're these two idiot kids. And this guy's pointing out, look, they're holding these things the whole night and then trying to do this trick where you just, slightly turn it on and it eventually is going to connect. And the way that they use these is that they ask questions where they say, hey, shine once for no, two for yes, like a Ouija board. And then occasionally it does it, but they only focus in, of course, on the positives or the things that are confirming their bias.
When you start doing it, the gaps between going on and off will be much quicker. I figured out that that's kind of the general rule, but there were times when it would just go on and off very fast, so it's not a set rule, it can just depend. Okay, so that explanation out of the way, when we see investigators out there using these, we rarely see a sit-down conversation with the flashlights. It's always edited and chopped up, obviously for a better video and just for time. But in those cuts in the video, you can hide a lot. They could ask, turn the flashlight on if you're here, over and over until it does, and then clip out the little bit when you ask and then it does turn on. But sometimes we have seen pretty long sit-down conversations, so what happens with those? Well, they might ask a question, turn it on if you're a male, and it doesn't turn on. So then they'll ask, turn it on if you're a female, and then it'll turn on. All that happened was they asked a certain question at the right time between gaps of it turning on and off. Now I know this, and now you know it. When you watch the videos, pay attention to the gaps in between the light turning on and off.
All right, we following that?
Yep.
He's making a little. He's making it a little overcomplicated, but it's basically just saying it's a matter of chance. That's all it is, and that while someone is talking, someone is just going to use whatever confirms their own preconceived bias. That's it. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, they just have good timing.
That and also it doesn't even necessarily need to be good timing as long as you have a good camera trick, you know. But that's ultimately what any of this is confirmation bias. You're just going to hone in on the things that you think prove your point, ignore everything that doesn't. And I feel like that 100% explains the whole paranormal world or paranormal hunting world, or anyone who tries to prove the stupid paranormal. It's so stupid. So stupid. Stupid. I need a stupid drop that just says, "You are so stupid," or something like that.
There are a lot of misses where the people will just ignore what's happened because it didn't align with their questions. The torch might have just turned on when no one asked a question. But the hits they get when it seems to align up with what they ask, they absolutely lose their minds.
Is there a ghost here?
Could be.
Are you a female ghost? Are you a tranny ghost? Yep. Works for me.
Gassy ghost.
Yeah. One for yes, two for no. Okay. That was just a no. I didn't ask a question yet. What are you saying yes to? I could do this all night.
They're a spirit or an energy.
Ooh.
Okay. Is the spirit of John Smith or Nils von Schultz here with us?
Is the spirit of Marion here with us?
Huh.
Guys, I feel like you should ask if
The person's name.
if Sally's here.
Is there a spirit named Sally?
I can't believe that. I actually can't believe that.
They get so hyped about their hits, they forget about all the misses and can go away from that thinking they've had an intelligent conversation, when in reality it was 15 misses and only 6 hits. So, a lot of people use these, but the main culprits, I think we'd all agree, are Sam and Colby.
Now, I don't know who these assholes are, but they look like assholes. So we can just skip ahead. He's really got a hard on for these two shithead kids.
Yeah, I've never heard of them.
Yeah, and I mean they just look like kids. They look like they're just being stupid with with an iPhone.
Yeah. There's nothing around it. We were...
Oh wait, here we go. Let's see. Luigi's confirmation bias. We all know ghosts can affect temperature, so having the flashlight on that setting makes it able for them to communicate.
Yeah.
Dang lizard. I don't even understand what this means. We all know ghosts can affect temperature. Oh, okay. So having the flashlight on that which setting?
He's saying that the ghost can really be controlling the flashlight too.
Oh. Got it. I haven't played one of my rim farts in a while. Let's see. Somebody tell a joke. What's a good joke?
Stuttering John.
Let's see. Hold on. I don't know why I'm blanking. Let's think of a good Jackie Martling joke.
3 Jews and a... No, I don't know.
Shit. Why am I... here we go. This is my favorite dad joke whenever I talk to kids. What's red? Wait, what is it? Oh yeah. What's blue and tastes like red paint?
Blue. What?
Blue paint.
Blue paint.
We're literally standing, 10 feet away?
I don't understand.
I don't know if it's Lou or Charlie, though.
I truly think it's Lou.
You think it's Lou?
Because he's the alcoholic. And then we were cheersing to him and it went off right when
you can relate to this.
Dude, Sam and Colby sound like Nickelodeon stars. Like just those names are like Bucky Fuckington and Colby Shitstain are real popular with teenage girls. People accuse them of grifting off of kids. No shit. Like, these people that are with them, they look like they're grifting off of. Ugh.
What's crazy, I don't know if you guys got the same impression, but it was only when we kept talking about cheersing and taking a shot when it was on and off.
Oh, happy, Lou. Are you happy? Because it feels happy here.
Lou, turn that flashlight on in 3.
These two winners were on Joe Rogan.
2.
No.
That seems appropriate. Joe Rogan is a pile of feces and would have these piles of feces on with him to talk about feces and how much they love feces.
That's pretty low.
Joe Rogan's pretty low.
Yeah.
Why? Lou, turn that flashlight on.
Maybe you're pressuring him too much.
Miss, but it's getting about the time for the light to come back on again anyway.
What if he's just not happy?
Maybe are you sad, Lou?
Oh my god. There we go.
So like, maybe he was trying to, it's hard to turn it on with my hand.
Lou, what am
It was painful to watch. He couldn't stand. Was it because it was contradicting his bullshit? Why couldn't he stand their bullshit? He buys into all that. That's funny.
I'm getting is that maybe you're sad, but you're happy that we are all here. If that's true, can you turn off this little flashlight by tapping it?
Oh, flickering. That's crazy. I am freaking out. That's crazy. Wild. Wait, the way it flickers. I know, and we're like, just tap it. And it was like,
I want to hit all of these people. I want to kick them in their nose.
That Sam had hold of them. He was mainly holding onto the blue one. The pink one might just be a little bit cooler than the blue one, so that's why the timing will differ. Just like the little ones up in the corner, if you've been paying attention to those throughout this whole video.
All right. So, I'm sorry.
Chinese secret.
I had to skip through that one. That one was just painful. Those little shithead kids, and that guy was getting on my nerves. So, now, DJ Electra, I hope you will enjoy this. We tried to think of who's the worst offender in this world of ghost hunting equipment. Who's like the biggest shithead asshole, piece of shit, garbage, grifting, fuckwad, retard in this ghost hunting business. And we thought,
it's easy.
Zach Baggins.
Yeah.
Zach Baggins. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And Gummi made something that we think you're going to like.
Awesome. Are we going to kick his ass? I sure hope so.
Versus ghost-busting DJ Electra Fry.
Oh my god, this is amazing.
Thank you, Gummi Chainsaw.
He has outdone himself.
Very accurate. Not a lot of people cheering for this asshole.
I need a rocking chair.
Nobody cares about that shithead. This is who we came here to see. DJ Electra Fry.
I'm afraid of no ghosts.
an entrance, folks.
My real signature. I said that to Gummi Chainsaw.
All right, who's ready for a match? Oh!
Too
DJ
fast for you,
Electra
Zach
Fry.
Baggins.
Fuck
You
you,
bag
Zach
of shit.
Baggins. Yes.
I'll put you in my crotch and then body you. And not in a good way. Yes. That was amazing.
And he is out. It was a quick night. Once again, the
Men don't
champion.
Men don't usually last very long with me. Gummy, that was awesome.
Thank you so much, Gummi Chainsaw. He is so fucking talented. Please show him some love, show him some support. If you would like your own intro, please let us know. And yes, retaining the Skeptical Robot Championship Series belt, DJ Electra Fry. Stevie J, she has an unlicensed nuclear accelerator. She does.
Hell yeah.
In her pants. Yes, we thought you might like that.
That's great.
REM pods. Now, do we know about REM pods? Do you guys know about REM pods?
Oh my
I
god,
don't.
I love these things.
Do you, Corn?
Yeah, you set them on top of something. You've got to back away a respectable distance, and then you start asking questions, and then you may not get an answer. But then when the ghost wants to respond, they communicate through lighting up different patterns on here. Yeah.
So there's actually a pretty interesting history behind the REM pod. Let's hear a little bit about it, and we'll talk about the history.
Corn,
REM
you've
pod,
used this
short
before?
for radiating electromagneticity pod.
I'm sorry, say it again? No.
I asked if you'd used or seen it in like real life and used one.
I have not.
Okay.
Oh, got it. Now, here's what's interesting.
Yet.
Even the name is stupid. Radiating electromagneticity pod. That is the real name. That's what it's called.
That's how you know it's fake.
Magneticity. That's not a real fucking word. Hold on.
Look, it is.
Let's use mine. Wait, oh shit. Sorry, folks. I do feel like I'm letting the audience down because I haven't gotten to use the fart mic yet. But yeah, let's hear a little bit about it, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the history of the radiating electromagneticity bullshit pod piece of shit nonsense.
Pod is marketed as a device that can detect spirits by sensing changes in the electromagnetic field around it.
No, that's the thing. I mean, it's not a real word. They somehow I'm guessing it's a patented aspect of it.
It really feels like a real word, though.
Magneticity, magneticization.
Definitely not a real word. Definitely not.
I feel magneticized. Show me the magneticities.
The REM pod generates its own EMF field using antennas. When an object, be it a hand, a piece of metal, or even static electricity, comes close to the antennas, it disrupts the field, causing the device to respond with lights and sounds.
Green light, yellow light, blue light.
It's not a great demo.
Environmental factors, such as nearby electrical appliances, wiring in walls, and even weather conditions, can also affect the REM pod's readings. The REM pod is essentially a theremin.
So this is what's funny is I was telling DJ Electra that there was something I wanted to do here on the show tonight, but I just never got around to it, which is I wanted to demonstrate what a theremin was. So this is basically, just using parts of a theremin. And if we all know what a theremin is, it's an electrical instrument, a musical instrument that makes noise based on your connection to it. Like, touching it will make noise. So I was thinking theremin time with Luigi might have been a little bit of a fun bit, but who has time to learn how to play a fucking instrument?
Unless you don't even have one. So,
and I don't have one, and so I never got around to buying one.
but it's basically like an antenna, and you just move your hand closer and further away from it, and it makes noises, right?
Yeah, but what's interesting...
what makes the old spooky horror movie music.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But what it does is it literally is reacting to it sets out a magnetic field, and you're moving into it is disrupting the magnetic field, and that's where the noise comes from. So like, as opposed to like the EMF meter that is like reading an electromagnetic field, this is actively generating an electromagnetic field, and your placement near it disrupts the constant sounds, which is where those musical notes come from.
Interesting.
Yes.
Right. So
what's interesting though is before we get too into it, I'm going to tell you just a little bit about who created the REM pod. It was created by a guy named Gary Galka, Galka. He was an electrical engineer, which constructed sound meters, humidity and temperature meters, and lasers for medical and aerospace companies. He had a company that also did paranormal research, which offers several other products, including their own EMF meters, audio players, and of course the REM pod. Galka started creating these devices after he tragically lost his oldest daughter in a fatal car crash in 2004. Now, I'm not going to make any comment about that. That's a terrible tragedy, but I only emphasize that to talk about how, once again, this is confirmation bias. Several days after her death, the family returned home from the hospital and immediately began reporting odd experiences, which the family believed was the daughter attempting to communicate with them. For example, he told the Hartford Courant in 2012, she started doing things like ringing the doorbell, changing TV channels, turning lights on and off. Then one time she came into my room and I felt her sit on the edge of my bed. Galka was inspired by these personal experiences to create devices that he believed would allow him and others to communicate with spirits. And his devices have been featured on blah, 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 these stupid ghost hunting TV shows. The REM pod has evolved over past several years, but the original version consisted of a black 4-inch PVC coupling, the kind that you could pick up at any hardware store for around $2. The top of the device has a telescoping antenna, a small speaker, and what appears to be 4 sections of a hot glue stick. When the device is turned on, the glue sticks can be illuminated via a different colored LED underneath each one. It basically dulls the light, is what those are doing. The antenna, glue sticks, and speaker are set in a thick layer of resin, which includes cut up chunks of additional glue sticks as a cheap filler. And on the bottom of the device is a 9-volt battery with an on and off button. So basically what this article is trying to say is that it was very crudely created, but accomplished what this person wanted it to accomplish, again, based on confirmation bias.
Yeah, he really wanted to be able to talk to his daughter after she died.
And that's the part that I can't judge someone. We talked about another case, the Enfield poltergeist case, where this family thought there was a ghost in their house, and they hired a ghost hunter, and the ghost hunter had recently, a year before, lost his daughter, And the person who was living in this house was a girl who had the exact same name as his daughter. And suddenly he started to believe that he could see and experience these ghosts. And you realize it was all simply a confirmation bias, but also a situation in which someone was trying to get closure with their own tragedy.
Yeah.
And it's terrible. And I'm not going to make any judgment. You know, people are going to seek closure to tragedy however they can. But the point of this show is to let people know you got to think for yourself. You got to think for yourself, because there are people who sometimes willingly, sometimes unwillingly are trying to convince you to believe silly things, usually in order to take money from you.
Usually.
So,
but sometimes, you know, I do sometimes believe after someone dies and that there are these weird things that are happening in the home. I do think that could be a ghost. I don't know. Nobody knows, but I don't think these devices are actually going to help you locate that person or that spirit.
I can't ever argue with someone's experience. You know,
yeah.
I can't say, you know, as much as I have evidence that there is no ghosts, there is also an equal amount of evidence to say that there is, because both of those numbers are zero. You know, I can't prove that something doesn't exist the same way that someone can prove something does exist without evidence. I get it. And I will also say that having experienced a loss in my life, I felt that I could see that person for several days after they were gone. And I told myself, no, I'm just used to that person being there. It's my brain, my own brain playing a trick on me that, you know, I expect to see something. Whereas, as opposed to me actually seeing it. And that was kind of my way of also coping and dealing with it. And I'll be honest, I shouldn't say person. It was a dog. I lost a dog.
Oh,
and
so sorry.
Fuck, I shouldn't have brought this up.
I'm so sorry. I'll change the subject. My neighbor.
No.
You want to talk about it? Okay.
I shit myself the other day.
It's
my neighbor thought that her dead boyfriend was fucking her in her sleep.
Oh, that's terrible.
Talk more about that.
Yeah. Every night he would come to her and bang her while she was sleeping. The ghost of him.
Well, I can't prove that didn't happen.
Was she was she pretty content with the arrangement?
Yeah, she was down with it for a while.
Nice.
She's very down. No,
your penthouse.
No, when I lost my dog, and I could have sworn that at times when I expected to see her, that she was there. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I should stop talking about this.
Yeah, it's tough. That's tough.
Instrument that detects nearby objects using electromagnetic fields, repackaged as ghost hunting equipment. While the theremin was originally designed to produce music based on the proximity of the player's hands, the REM pod uses similar technology to claim it detects paranormal activity. However,
talk more about your neighbor slowly.
However, this repurposed device comes with a massive price markup.
Now, this is another aspect of it that I wanted to talk about, which is there is controversy among believers in this equipment, in which sometimes they put a markup on it, and there are some people who are morally opposed to that.
Capitalizing on its ghost hunting label, what you're
Does
really
that say
paying for is
$271?
Yes. Now, but here's what's interesting. Let's keep listening to this guy.
Same basic technology dressed up to look like a specialized tool with a little evidence to support its effectiveness in detecting anything supernatural. Now, I'm sorry if I seem angry about this, but that's because I am. The bar for entry into the ghost hunting field is priced extortionately. If you're intending to have fun and look for ghosts, you can purchase the same equipment for a third of the price by removing the words ghost and hunting from your...
So if you're searching for some of this ghost hunting equipment and you leave off the word for ghost hunting, it costs less. for the same product. You put in ghost hunting, that suddenly makes the exact same thing, same model number, same everything, cost more. Again, falling right in line with everything that we try to teach, or I shouldn't say teach, everything that we try to discuss and talk about on the show, which is people just want you to believe stupid things so that they can take your money. That's it. That's it. That's all it is. We're an educational show, people. As much as you tell us that we are not an educational show, we are. Heavy on the farts tonight, folks. I got nothing else. My brain is exhausted at the end of the week from work. Please, it's my crutch. I hope you still laugh.
Shopping basket.
We've all seen them in videos where it starts ringing and people just freak out.
I cannot set that off with my movement from here. And catwalk.
So what is a REM pod? So a REM pod creates an EM field around itself. And then it creates lights and high-pitched ringing noises that vary depending on how intensely it's being interacted with. For example, we turn it on, we're gonna 0 it, and then as soon as you get close and break that EM field, it's gonna give off a light and a sound. But the more intense it's interacted with, so how do we use it? There's actually a couple different ways that you can use it in your next investigation. Many people like to use them by asking a spirit to touch the device and cause only a certain color of light to show up. For example, if there's a spirit here that would like to speak with me, can you please come touch this device and make it turn green? And then a spirit would interact with it and hopefully show the color green. Me, on the other hand, I kind of like to use it as a tripwire system. I use it in conjunction with other things. I use dowsing rods and other devices.
That was one that I kind of wanted to talk about, dowsing rods, but they're just so silly. I didn't even know where to start because it just seemed like a joke. Dowsing rods, if you guys are familiar, I'm sure you are, there's 2 little rods people put in their hand and they tell ghosts to make them cross whenever they're around them.
People make millions off of them finding oil. You know?
That's what's crazy. That's what's so silly. I mean, like, I don't get it, but like there's a scientific there's a scientific explanation called the idiomotor effect, in which people are just going to do what they want with their hands, regardless of whether they know it or not, just hoping that something is going to make those rods cross, can make it happen if they're in your hands, because your hands will do that with or without your instruction. And like the fact that people do this stuff, James Randi had this fantastic special, we should watch it, that was all about water divining and that sort of stuff. But basically the thing is, like you're saying, yes, people do get lucky. Also, people get hired more than once. They get a dozen, hundreds, thousands of incorrect answers, but as soon as they find one, that's the one that they promote. And you're right, people will get paid a lot of money, but they also have to try a lot of times. Anyway, but that's some crazy shit. But it seems like such an antiquated, medieval thing to do, but people are still using it, and I don't know, it just feels it's on the level to me of like hearing that someone drained out their blood because they had a fever, or they used leeches on their on their skin to get away bad blood, like something that just was ancient and not used anymore as a science. But I guess not.
Leeches can work though for like large hematomas and stuff.
Yeah, they still do bloodletting.
Yeah, but for real scientific reasons.
Well, I know about like for bruises, but like they used to use leeches to clean out bad blood when someone had a fever.
They don't have to do that anymore.
No, no,
that wasn't proven.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean that makes sense if there's like a pool or a collection of blood. That does make sense to use a leech. Mm-hmm. But no, or how about this? Casting out evil blood, using a leech for that. That just is on the level of dowsing rods for me. But turns out people are still doing this bullshit.
Yeah.
and just ask a spirit to show me where it's at. But personally, I don't believe this is a device that should be used alone.
Exactly.
I use it in conjunction with other things all the time. And the significance, when it goes off alongside something else simultaneously, skyrockets. For example, in one of my most recent investigations, I had a REM pod placed in a doorway. That doorway led to a stairwell. At the end of the stairwell, pointing towards the REM pod, I had a motion sensor set up. I asked a question while holding the dowsing rods. The dowsing rods answered me immediately. The REM pod went off, and the motion sensor pointing at it also went off. It's always very interesting when a REM pod goes off by itself, but when you see this kind of simultaneous activity, it becomes a lot more easily to accept.
I have a REM pod here. Let's ask it a question. Who has a question to ask it?
Audience, what do you want to ask someone here? Come on.
I mean, whatever you would ask a ghost. What would you, I don't even know.
Did bloodletting kill George Washington?
Okay. Okay, REM pod. Did bloodletting cure George? Kill. Did bloodletting kill George Washington? REM pod, what do you say? Is that a yes or a no? That doesn't answer my question. REM pod? Do leeches help bloodletting for fevers and evil spirits?
That was obviously a yes.
That sounded like a resounding yes.
That was a passionate yes.
Yeah. And Stevie J wants to know, is Chops a generous lover?
Oh, there you go. Is Chops a generous lover?
Yes.
That was 2. I think that's a yes. Or was 2 no? I forget. I really don't remember what we assigned this. Oh, here we go. Did Korn really shit himself last week? That's up for interpretation, but I'm gonna say yes. That's a yes.
More evidence.
Oh wait, now he's muddying up the waters too. Was 2 no? I forget. Shit. Let's ask him again. All right, I'm getting just tired of this. This is so silly, but we're almost done. We're gonna go here to one of my favorite guys, Sneezing Monkey. This guy is great. He is a great skeptic debunker, does a lot of good research.
Probably and play controlled melodies. Now for reference, a junior theremin circuit like it is seen in this device costs around $20, and you've seen for how much they are selling a device like that. And on
I heard that this guy and Racist Bjork were dating.
Top of that, these guys found out that these devices are extremely prone to giving,
but she couldn't put up with his racism,
being false positives, going off for no apparent reason. Like, for example, they found out that like two-way radios can easily trigger REM pods. Even
so that's what's funny, that when using a REM pod, one of the things that's going to set it off is a two-way radio. Well, guess what these fucking ghost hunting shows are always using are two-way radios.
Two-way radios, yeah.
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 The distance of like 30 feet away. So by no means is this a device that's been like designed for ghost hunting and specifically based on research to communicate with the spirit world. It is much more, it seems to be much more about the thrill of having a little device that makes noises and blinks every now and then for no apparent reason, so that you
why won't you call me, Sneezing Monkey?
Can say, oh wow, we're communicating, right? It's just like on TV. And this same thing applies to the K2 EMF meter as well, right? It's very prone.
You are an EMF meter.
Onto easy interference. It's picking up two-way radio frequencies and blinks for no apparent reason. And there's a great article.
DJ Electra does a great Bjork impression also. Say something racist. I'm kidding. Doesn't it?
Bjork is not home.
How many other shows are gonna say something racist?
About that particular one, the K2 EMF meter on the James Randi Educational Foundation website, where they literally say that even the power button of many of those devices, if you push it correct, can interfere with the signal it's picking up. So the whole thing is just not credible. It is prone to failure.
You are prone to failure. Ivan the Terrible got his syphilis treated using mercury, which actually works to a degree. He died of mercury poisoning, and the syphilis infecting his brain didn't really help. How many times has syphilis helped, Dang Lizard? I can tell you from personal experience, it does not.
Yeah, a lot of science killed a lot of people in the beginning. It's kind of how they tested things.
Exactly. Okay, so we're going to just talk about one last topic here. And that
Spirit
is
boxes, spirit boxes, spirit boxes.
the spirit box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the what I saw that I was like, this is total crap.
Oh, wait, no, I forgot we have two more. All right, sorry. EVP recordings.
Okay.
This is just, okay. EVP recorders. This one, I'll admit, from a psychological standpoint, EVP recordings do fascinate me. From the perspective of, I don't believe it. I don't believe anything's talking, but it is kind of fascinating to hear what other people claim to hear. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like when they say, "Oh, I heard a guy say, what's that in your pocket?" I'm like, wait, how did you get that? Like,
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that at all. Yeah, like you just hear this weird, flooding noise, and this guy goes, "Did you hear it right there? That guy said, I want peanut butter on my toast." Like, no, I didn't hear that. All I heard was a bunch of jumbled static. Yeah, I'd like. So in a weird way, it's kind of like a Rorschach test. Like you're just gonna come up with something, and maybe what you come up with is more of a what's the word I'm looking for, is more of a description of who you are as a person than any kind of ghost trying to communicate. Anyway.
Recordings. Those are electronic voice projections or electronic voice phenomenon, depending on who you ask. Now, the idea here is that you record audio, and while you hear nothing in the real world, once you replay the audio on your audio recorder, you suddenly hear voices. You make out whole sentences. Usually they're very faint and they are masked by static noise, so they're not easy to understand and they need some interpretation of what is actually being said. But what's ironic about EVPs is that every time you see any ghost investigator trying to record an EVP, they're not using high-end studio-level audio recording devices that are well shielded towards accidentally recording stray frequencies. They are often small, handheld, noisy, hypersensitive digital recorders, voice recorders, that would pick up any little bit of interference, distortion, shuffling.
And that's interesting. That's something I've never thought about, is that you have to look at the quality of the equipment that they're using. Are they using something that by normal recording standards, we're in the podcasting world, we know what it's like to have a recording of a bad microphone and a good microphone. We know to some extent. I'm not saying we're experts. I'm saying we know a little bit about that. But we can tell if someone is using a shitty microphone that is getting, overmodulated, can pick up sounds from behind them, isn't, filtering anything out. That's interesting. And that's something I never thought of.
In a lot of cases, I see them using same little Sanyo or Samsung recorder, or the Zoom ones, kind of high-end ones. But then again, the Ghost Brothers, they just use an old iPhone 4.
When you say Sanyo recorders, you mean like the voice memo recorders?
Yeah, like little $100.
Oh my God.
Office Depot type of thing.
And that's literally like a microphone that is intended to be held to your mouth in order to record it. It's tiny and is going to pick up any kind of noise behind you. Yeah, there's no filtering, nothing about that. So in essence, what it is just picking up whatever you're wanting it to record, as well as everything else around it unintentionally. Yeah, it's something I never would have thought of. Yeah, here we go. Ghost hunters can't afford a Newman mic. Well, who the fuck can? But still, try to be professional about it a little. Just don't use the shittiest of mics or an iPhone. That is interesting to me. But again, that goes to again, like the Rorschach test, like it's just going to put a jumbled mess, and you're going to hear what you want to hear, find what you want to find, interpret it the way you want to interpret it.
And you got to ask yourself, why is that the case, right? Why are they not using these broad frequency, high-end recording devices?
And Frank Dukes might be making an appearance soon, folks. Not tonight. I'll be honest about that, but very soon. Very soon.
That many of those TV shows certainly could afford. Why do they use small, handheld, often crappy voice recorders? Well, the reason is simple, okay? Because most of the time, what you hear in those EVPs is most likely stray radio transmissions. Now, if you use a well-shielded audio recording device, then you wouldn't pick up those frequencies. You would hear nothing of it. But as a ghost investigator, you want that evidence, right? So you want to pick up the rubbing of your finger, the accidental rubbing of your finger against the case of it, making noises. You want to hear amplified shuffling, maybe of your feet on the floor, or other environmental noises that are happening in the background that you may have not noticed in that moment. But I would mostly point to those stray radio frequencies that just are all around us and that are being picked up by these crappy voice recorders. You wouldn't hear them if you record your voice and you're constantly talking, then they would be pushed down into the background. You wouldn't hear them. But if you're...
I want to see a ghost hunting show where a ghost hunter has a fart mic.
Quiet, and you say basically nothing, ask a question, then wait, and you're a bit lucky, you might pick up some Is
anyone else finding this funny? That's great. Are your recorders in order?
Distorted frequency that then manifests itself as an EVP on your device. And again, I can recommend a lovely article on BBC News from 2013, actually. Lovely. It's a bit older, but it's still relevant to...
Now, we all love BBC. And DJ Electra is a huge fan of BBC. But
am I?
How could you not be? Right.
I mean, I keep trying to get more and more BBC because that's where all the good stuff is at.
It's a classic.
It is. It is.
Lovely.
And
I remember my parents watching BBC when I was growing up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My wife is a big fan of the BBC, and I'm like, man, look, sometimes I can only do so much BBC, but you know, she can take it all day. So what's interesting is this article he's talking about people who think they tune into dead voices. I'm not going to go read that one. I already read one. I already know it's fucking boring to listen to hear me just drone on about an article. But that is an interesting article in which the guy who theorized that these recorders can pick up on these EVPs, electronic voice projection, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Electronic voice phenomenon.
Electronic voice phenomenon. Thank you. I just made that up. I was going to end it with puppets, but I was like, that's going to sound too hacky. But yes, electronic voice phenomenon. The guy who theorized this in the first place pulled off the mistake that most psychics make, which is you aim too high. So this guy started saying he was talking to very famous people like Hitler and Stalin. And was like, I got the voices of Stalin and Hitler here. Let's listen to what they have to say because they'll talk to me. And that immediately made people not really give him a lot of credibility. But then again, there were some people who did believe him, as there's always somebody out there who's going to believe.
Today, where they go deeply into the history of EVPs, of using that method to communicate with the dead, because there is a long history going back all the way into the 50s and 60s where people claimed they communicated with Hitler and Stalin and Mussolini. It's a really interesting read if you're interested in...
I reminded him.
This kind of stuff.
So in PIM, we use a very specific set of recorders that record in wave format. That is a uncompressed format, which ensures that we're getting the best quality.
Now, while I consider these two assholes to still be grifters and con artists for ghost hunting, they are at least trying to raise the bar for other con artists and grifters to not be as lazy and stupid by selling the unthought out bullshit. Think your bullshit through a little bit more and try to think of better standards for your bullshit and say that these are the types of files we use because they are of higher quality and are trying to eliminate those common debunked conditions.
Yeah, they're bullshitters LARPing as scientists.
That's perfect. that's perfect. I was trying to like goof on that. No, that's exactly what's happening. They're bullshitters LARPing as scientists. That's very accurate. Way to go.
On the investigations that we're doing, there are recorders that cost quite a bit less and can even record quite a bit longer than the Zoom H1 recorder. However, those recorders record in an inferior file format called MP3. This is a compressed file format, which removes some of the frequencies of the audio environment when it does its recording. This is why it can record for longer with less recording space. Now, the problem with this is when you're recording in an environment and you have multiple recorders going, hopefully, you're not there remembering every single second of that investigation. You're relying on that audio record to go back and remember what's going on. That's how you do your evidence review, or at least how you should. Now, the problem with using a compressed file format and removing some of those frequencies is it muddies up that audio recording. It makes it maybe more garbled, more audio pixelation, I like to call it. You kind of hear staticky environment, that's a staticky recording that's going on. And this makes it...
What's that you say?
I can't take them serious with a tablecloth that wrinkly.
fresh out of a plastic bag from Party City.
Easier to come up with EVPs or other, anomalous recordings during the investigation because you don't have a clean audio environment to go back to.
Oh.
And oftentimes people
they got EVPs and EMFs and downing rods, but they don't have
maybe
a
one or
steamer.
two. And so when you don't have a lot of things you can refer back to and try to correlate evidence between devices and try to determine where
That'll
that
knock the wrinkles
anomalous sound is recorded, you end up with, well, I don't know what it is, it must be paranormal.
I've heard it makes wrinkles.
You should never do that. And second of all, most of the time
knocked
it's
mine
because
out.
your starting point of audio evidence was garbage in the first place.
Hey,
Garbage in,
there we go.
Garbage out.
That might be the best line I've heard all night. The fact is, it was garbage in the first place. Fuck off. That is it.
And so you want to make sure that when you're doing those audio recorders, since audio evidence is...
He's doing Illumina.
So I just watched a podcast about it. That hand shape where you make that little triangle.
I thought that was
Elon
a pussy.
Musk does it all the time. It kind of also looks like a vagina, but it's been scientifically studied and proven that makes people feel very comfortable and that they will believe you when you're talking. And so that's why Elon Musk uses it all the time. That hand shape, for some reason, makes people have really good feeling about you and believe what you're saying, even if it's bullshit.
I'm gonna just walk around like that.
Yeah.
In sign language, if you do exactly what he's doing, but you like flail your hands out a little bit to make like the full triangle and then put it over your crotch, that means pussy in sign language. Seriously.
Number one type of evidence that's captured on investigations, you're starting with good quality audio. Otherwise, you're going to end up with wasting a lot of time listening to hours of evidence, finding crap.
Okay, audio pareidolia. Do you know what pareidolia is?
That's a beautiful word, Luigi. Yes, I do know what it means. It's when you see faces and shit inside pictures, typically.
That is
or
correct.
Or when you hear sounds, right? Patterns and sounds?
Now, there's really not an actual definition for the audio version, but pareidolia is exactly what CornDiff said, is when you see faces and things, when you try to attribute human characteristics to something that is inanimate or just not human.
I'm real, damn it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
There's a face in that corn. Yes. So it's a human instinct to do something like that. Now, there is I don't know what you want to just call it. People just attribute this word. Again, this is not scientific in any way, but it's audio pareidolia, which is kind of suggesting that when you hear something like we were talking about the Rorschach test, that you're just going to hear what you want to hear. You're going to just use whatever you can to confirm your own bias that something is paranormal, something's out there that you can hear. So there's actually this audio that's gone viral of static that people have said that if they listen to it, they can actually hear a specific phrase. I don't hear it, but I'm going to see if maybe DJ Electra and CornDiff can hear it. I already know about this, so doesn't make sense for me to do it. So I want you to hear. This is going to just sound like TV static, but tell me if you can hear words. Okay? So listen closely.
I hear the new Kanye song.
I closed my eyes. I knew that was coming.
Oh, you suck.
Totally had my eyes closed.
I totally
Well
thought
done.
I thought that was going to totally work on you. Okay, let's get spirit boxes.
What we have here is a device that runs through AM or FM radio frequencies at a fraction of a second. I think it's about a quarter of a second that it stays on each.
Oh, by the way, just to clear it up, no, there's no viral video about hearing words in static. I totally made that up.
And then quickly skips over. Now, what we're going to give you real quick is an audio example of what you're listening to. Some people believe is they're able to pull out voices, ask questions, get intelligent responses from the audio that you're about to hear. As you can hear now, you're hearing the skipping across all of the different stations. And a voice just came through. Was that my dead Uncle Tim? No, because he's not dead, he's alive. And so what you can see here is you can't really make anything out from these.
Oh, I think I just heard butt.
Jumbled noises. Unless you're trying to figure out something and shoehorn in a response to a question you had.
Well, let's give an example.
What is your name?
This is one that, like, all of the other ones, I tend to think there's some sort of explanation as to what they think they are experiencing, you know, like what the hunters think they're experiencing. This one baffles me because it's so fast. Even if it were to tell like a whole sentence that fast, I couldn't hear it. So like I in my mind, I'm like, this is not helping your cause. This is actually confusing me and going to make me angry because even if it was a human talking that fast, I wouldn't be able to understand what it was saying.
Luigi, think of it like a scanner. So as it's hitting all these different frequencies, when it locks onto one where it's getting something, it'll stay there longer and it'll actually play a message, but we're not hearing it actually get anything.
Oh,
So
okay.
There's no spirits nearby.
Okay, so if it is in fact getting words, it will make those words
It'll
clear.
stop on that channel. Supposedly.
Hamhead, thank you for the 666. The static said I should send this. Do what the static says. Also,
Hamhead.
you also bought that for your 666. Thank you, Hamhead. You're awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, okay, so all right, that makes sense. I've seen them use this on BuzzFeed Unsolved. And it definitely could have been an aspect of the camera audio not catching it, where you would just hear a blah 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 blah, and this guy would go, "I heard apple, and then a guy named Jeff likes apples, and I'm like, I didn't hear any of that. So I guess there's probably an extra layer of confusion there that I'm probably not getting it.
I think I heard Joe.
Say that. I'm sorry.
There's a user manual.
Ah, I got you.
Isn't it just like when you're driving and your radio goes out of service, or used to when we had antennas, and so it just would like static would come through, and then you'd hear like a word or two, and then it would go out again.
Not as much, because in that instance you're locked onto a specific radio frequency, and it's just you're getting out of range of it. But whereas this one is scanning a multitude of channels, and it stops on whichever one it picks up a signal on.
But there was a setting. I think I know what she's talking about, and I think that's a good analogy.
Well, that auto scan feature,
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So when it would lock onto a feed, it would stop.
Yeah. Similar to that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Gotta connect with the boomers, folks.
Exactly.
I heard Phil.
Joe? I heard nothing. Oh,
I hear a
That
child
was a disembodied
screaming.
scream. No, it was garbage.
Well, let me just show you how cheap this thing really is. Without this external speaker, there's this speaker, and it's playing right now.
If you listen really carefully.
Closer.
Just barely hear it.
Oh, man, that was painful.
So this is a piece of garbage.
I was proud of that one.
But it is often put on some paranormal investigation shows and used as, really high-end evidence. But in actuality, you're just wasting your time. Because what's happening is basically the crowd mentality. You have a group of people around a circle listening to this garbledy-gook and trying to pull intelligent information out of it. If everyone asks a question such as, what is your name, which is a very common one, if you listen to this long enough, someone is going to hear something that it resembles a name of a person, or even a name of a place. And then they kind of go down the path of, I heard Ohio. Are you from Ohio? Do you know someone in Ohio? Until you get some other garbledy-gook response that...
Can't believe you closed your eyes on my game. I should have made that a rule.
Yeah.
You have to watch.
I had to close my eyes, plus I was listening, so I had to concentrate.
I sold it too well, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Considered an intelligent response, and you spend hours wasting your time listening to what is essentially just radio chatter that is being gone over very quickly, and you're trying to process with your brain an intelligent response. And it's an example of what we call audio pareidolia. We are going to have another episode on pareidolia later, so please, again, like, subscribe, and click that bell so you know when we have our new videos coming up, and we'll explain more of what that is. But in this instance, essentially making sense out of nonsense. You're listening.
Making sense out of nonsense is really going to be I'm going to make that the tagline for the show.
As the people that just invented audio pareidolia.
Yes, making sense out of nonsense. Skeptical Robot Fridays.
Into audio that doesn't make any sense to your brain, and your brain is trying to fit something that doesn't make sense into it. So you're listening for an intelligent response to a question. What is your name? So you're listening for anything that might be a name. If one person says they hear something.
Where did you hear about the hand gesture instilling calmness, DJ Electra?
I heard it on a podcast. I don't
those.
remember exactly which one it was right now, but I can find out for you if you want to know.
Dang Lizard wants to know. I don't really care. Dang Lizard wants to check your sources, apparently. Confirm. Verify.
Yeah, I'll find it for
Many
you.
other people will be able to fit that in. We see that all the time with electronic voice phenomena that we play. If we tell you what it says, you will almost undoubtedly hear that. But independently, you most likely won't come up with it. And so that's why these devices are just...
Now, we've talked about this before. I always love a good magic trick. What he just said right there makes me think someone's done this. There has to be someone out there who has planted seeds of specific words with one of these things to make people hear it. That makes me think that happened the way he said that. Meaning, you take someone into a room and you drop some sort of clue, like if I were to say orange like 3 or 4 times, then we play that. They'd say, I heard him talk about oranges, something like that. I would be willing to bet money someone has done something like that with one of these spirit boxes.
Not useful for trying to find
orange,
find actual evidence or data surrounding up something that's paranormal. You can never prove that anything that comes out of this device or anything like it is paranormal in nature, because it is man-made.
And my spirit box always says boobs.
Radio frequencies that are known to be out there to determine if something is paranormal or not.
Okay, this is gonna be the last segment. This guy here, this I don't know what I was gonna say.
Sounded like you just said this is gonna be the last sex segment.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. You don't know.
Get those tips ready, people.
Yes, my spirit box says sex.
That's his stage name, Spirit Box.
Spirit Box. I heard something actually this week that really made me laugh. It was audio on a minor league baseball game where before the game the catcher went up to talk to the coach, and the coach was talking to one of the umpires, and they were talking about the money they were going to make, and the catcher goes, "Yeah, man, well, it doesn't really mean much to me. I give all my money to charity. But if she's not dancing, I give it to Destiny." He just like said that just off the top of his head. And like, they both start laughing. Anyway, that made me think of that. All right, folks. Yeah, this is going to be the last thing. And I saved this for last because I thought this was really one of the most compelling, scientifically based opinions that I was like, wow, that is super interesting. But I don't want to build it up too much. Make your own conclusion.
Box. Okay, so the SB7 Spirit Box is a device that rapidly scans through radio frequencies, and if it picks up a noise over several frequencies, because it goes through them so quickly, it's interpreted as a ghost. Okay, it's a ghost. We can hear noises over 4 or 5 frequencies. Must be ghost. There's no other explanation. Now, what they conveniently leave out in that explanation is that radio stations don't sit on one static AM or FM frequency only. Often their signal stretches over various frequencies. So if the radio station says, well, we are on 90.0, then you will hear some of the signal at 89.0, at 89.5, and even beyond the 90 at 90.5 and 91. You will hear...
Okay, so I kind of want to translate what he's saying here. He's saying 999 Schnitzel 9. What this guy is saying is that he's basically poking holes in the theory of how this information is being communicated. He's not making any kind of judgment on ghosts. He's simply saying, this is what you have been theorizing this whole time, and here's why you are wrong. Therefore, the foundation of your theory is wrong. Therefore, none of the rest of it stands up to your theory. None of the rest of what is built on that foundation stands up. So he is saying that the theory has been all along that these ghosts are speaking through radio frequencies. Specific radio frequencies, because that is what these spirit boxes are doing. They are moving one frequency to another frequency to another frequency, and he is saying that the theory has been that when these ghosts are communicating, that they are traveling also with these frequencies. Okay, but he is saying that the science behind that is incorrect, that any frequency that is being transmitted is transmitted within a range of frequencies. So basically saying, you are saying that this is the way they communicate, but the foundation of which you have said it is incorrect. Come up with a new theory. Does that make sense? Am I making sense with that?
Yeah.
Okay. As I was saying it, I started to think, maybe I don't understand it. But yes, so there we go.
Little bit of that signal in the distance. So if you're rapidly scanning through those frequencies, you will get noise over 4, 5, maybe even 6 frequencies. And if you're then gullible enough, you can interpret that as some kind of sentence, when in fact it really is just a radio station.
So also in theory, what he's saying is, if they were in fact saying a word, like if they were saying Jeff loves apples, based on the way that the spirit box communicates those signals, you would hear Jeff, love, ghost, apples. Mm-hmm. So when someone is theorizing that they hear something distinctly, it is incorrect, because they are not hearing something distinctly, because it is not being communicated distinctly.
And anyways, how would a ghost be able to control these waves and then make these words come up?
I'm not going to try to start making sense of it now.
That's just silly. That's just silly.
Well, I think the working theory is that ghosts are energy, and
and radio waves.
So
And
they can stop a
and-
radio wave on the word that the host is saying or something. I mean, it's so
No,
weird.
it's just we finally built tech good enough to pick up on their conversation.
Yeah, and also what's funny is they don't really stick to any sort of one theory, which I'm curious if they can, if they believe that all of these theories can coincide and, you know, be present with, if there's room for all of them. Because what I'm saying specifically is some of them believe that they travel in electronic fields, wires, you know, that ghosts exist in wires. But this box means that they exist without wires through radio waves, which are different. Those are different things.
But it's not their real conversations. It's the radio announcers that they stop on that radio signal for a minute, and you hear these radio announcers say a word, and we're supposed to believe that the ghost made the radio signal stop on that exact word because it wanted to that word to be heard by you.
Of course it is. It's
Is that
nonsense.
what we're supposed to believe?
I don't know what they want us to believe. It's all bullshit. There's nothing to prove that any of this. I'm just wondering if their theories can coexist in the same world. Can someone believe that a ghost exists through wires and radio waves, or do they have to be tribal and only like, you know, like the Dabbleverse? If you're a fan of wires, you can't be a fan of radios. You know, like I don't.
Wires
I don't really
are gay.
get that.
You like wires?
Yes. Wires are so played out. Wires just beg for super chats.
Wires don't sell tickets.
Wires don't sell tickets. That's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy. Like none of it makes any goddamn sense. This is also stupid.
Yeah.
So
when I saw these
fucking
spirit boxes
stupid.
and people were really believing in them, I was like, this is the easiest one to debunk. I mean, it's just randomly scanning through radio stations, and it's not speaking to you. There's no ghost speaking to you through it.
No.
Our minds do weird things. We want to hear things. We want to believe in things. We want to believe in these ghosts, and we want to hear something. So our mind makes it so it happens. And plus, then if someone says, "Oh, did you just hear? You know, yeah, I like BBC." Then you're gonna be like, "Yeah, of course I did," because you want to be
Gummi.
cool and you
Clip
want
it.
people to like you. And then it's just a group mentality, and that is something that you can prove, the psychology behind it.
That is all it is. And then what we teach here at Skeptical Robot is who stands to profit from you believing something extraordinary.
Yeah. So they're selling a product.
That's the question you always got to ask. If I'm going to believe something against my reason and my logic, does someone stand to profit from me believing it? The answer, inevitably, is yes. So, if someone could convince you that you're hearing DJ Electra Fry loves BBC from a spirit box, that means someone's trying to sell you something or a service or something. Let me say this story. This is so crazy. So I have a sister, I think we've made it clear. I have a sister who is the complete opposite of me, believes every stupid. I'm sorry. I really am sorry. I'm going to load up on all of the gas producing foods next episode. I really thought I did a good job. I thought I had a loaded gun, or at least I was going to have a loaded gun.
Cannon.
And it just didn't work. I ate ice cream. I ate pizza. I mean, like, seriously. I don't know why I don't have a fart.
Should have eaten beans. I mean, what does pizza and ice cream make farts now? I never knew that. I know beans.
I'm allergic to legumes.
You are not.
We've had this conversation. Yeah. I'm allergic to legumes. I can't eat beans.
I must have blocked it out then because I can't believe that.
Broccoli.
Yeah.
Broccoli will make you.
Cabbage.
Ooh.
Cabbage is
stanky ones.
Broccoli is. Ugh, I just can't do broccoli. Broccoli's terrible.
And then just chase it all with a box of Fiber One bar.
See, here's the thing with fiber. I've taken fiber. The farts are behind the turds.
Oh, so you'd have to go to the bathroom first,
right,
yeah,
and somehow not let the gas out of the bag. All right. So what were we talking about?
It's just the psychology behind it, and that in Missing in Action brought up religion, which I wasn't going to bring up because I don't think we talk about religion on this channel. But
we do.
It's like religion. Who's
all
profiting
nonsense.
from all those beliefs, and who is putting people in mind control for that? Because
there's always somebody to profit, and that's the whole point of all of this, is that there's always somebody who's trying to convince you of something crazy. I was talking about my sister. Who profits from skepticism? Me! Thank you for the $2.
Oh my god, that is so perfect.
Or €2. Sorry. Thank you.
So perfect.
I have a sister who is the opposite of me. Believes in like astrology and tarot cards, and just like believes in ghosts and all of that shit. And I take every opportunity I have to try to goof on her. She hates it. She bought a house, and she told me that the realtor, after she bought the house, the realtor tried to sell her I can't remember exactly what it was. It was some kind of statue, and said that the statue brought good luck. And,
oh my goodness.
And that it would bless her house. Like it had like this whole backstory.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister, who as she's telling me this story about, so he told me that it's going to do this, I'm already like rubbing my head like, oh my God, I can't believe. And she goes, I told him that's ridiculous. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
You're rubbing off on her.
And then she was like, but then she thought, like, that's what I thought at first. I was like, oh my God, good for you. And then she goes, yeah, I mean, I'm a Christian. I couldn't believe in that. And I was like, oh, fuck.
False idols. Ooh.
But it was like we made like a little bit of progress. And then she told me that the reason was because it basically, counteracted her current beliefs. But yes, and so that's the funny thing, is that even though you might already be on the path of believing something stupid, there's going to be somebody else who wants to sell you something stupid. And
right.
There's just always someone out there trying to grift. Always. Every single moment of the day. What's funny is I think most people have their own filters on. Spam. You know what? The only reason spam exists is because there are people who fall for it. Mm-hmm. There are people who fall for that shit. Anyway, I feel like that's my public service announcement, is just, look, think for yourself. Just think for yourself.
The weird thing is that the placebo effect really does work. It really does. If someone believes hard enough that they are taking the correct pill in a study, it does improve their health.
I understand.
So
yes.
It's weird, but it actually is a thing. It's real. So it's hard. Believe science is real. We know we can prove it, but placebo effect, psychology, your mind having importance over something and contributing to outcomes is possible too.
I will not deny that. I'm with you. My brother-in-law one time was wearing this magnetic bracelet. I don't, whatever. It was stupid. Like somebody asked him about it at a family function. Hey, what is that? And he said, this guy who sold this to me told me that it was going to clear my headaches. And I think that's what it was. It was going to clear my headaches and help me sleep better and then relax me. Uh-huh. And someone was like, and so, like, since you've worn it, like, what happened? And he goes, I've had less headaches. And, like, he kind of got this, like, smirky, like, look from the person who was talking to him and was like, really? So you don't think that's all in your head? And he goes, might be. I don't care. And so I just laughed and I was like, hey, that's okay. It was basically him acknowledging, might all be in my head. Who gives a fuck? If I'm having less headaches, I'm having less headaches. And
exactly.
I like that.
If it
and
works.
So I thought to myself, I can't tell him he's wrong. It's his body,
Right.
He's experiencing something that is completely centralized on him. and localized, maybe that's not the right word, centered on him. I can't tell him he's wrong. I can't tell him what he's experiencing. I can't tell him what exists and what doesn't exist at that point. And he acknowledges that it all might be bullshit, but he's still willing to give it a try. And I was like, you know what? You're not hurting anybody, not hurting me. So good for you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's see. Let's just finish this. We literally have like a couple minutes left.
That's being scanned. Now, interestingly again, talking about costs, let's put an SB7 Spirit Box into Amazon and we find models like this one that go for $89.90. It says ITC research device down here. It says SB7T Spirit Box up here. So it is clearly an incredible research device. But if you...
I think I did that too, Dang Lizard. He just wanted to pay the taxes. Seemed reasonable.
You type in portable radio, you find very similar devices for just $14.99. This is pounds, but you get...
Again, you throw in a belief system on top of this, and now there's a premium. There's a tax on believing stupid nonsense.
People will pay more. Just like people will give away a certain percentage of their, income to the church. Because they believe that will bring them blessings.
It's just amazing that it's always the exact same blueprint. If you believe something crazy, somebody wants to make money. Yeah. Or charge a premium.
Get the idea. Again, you need to modify them slightly to actually scan through those frequencies, but if you're talented with tech and you know how to amend a portable AM and FM radio, then you can quite easily turn $14.99 into $89.90. So I think at this point you can see kind of a pattern here. These devices are not about collecting evidence. They're not about communicating with the dead. It is about having something that blinks, that makes noises, so you can say, oh, wow, you see it? Oh my God, wow. That compensates for nothing actually happening. But unfortunately, those so-called ghost hunting devices and all this equipment has become a very lucrative business because you can overcharge for a simple, already existing technology by making marginal amends to it and calling it ghost hunting equipment. And amplified by all those TV shows and online formats and what you see everywhere, unfortunately, all healthy skepticism has been abandoned in the name of entertainment. Well-known ghost hunters write guidebooks on how to hunt ghosts. They open museums about haunted artifacts. They conduct ghost tours and utilize every possible way to capitalize on people's beliefs. Self out, watch all the shows. I enjoy them as well. And they are good entertainment. But try to keep a reasonable skepticism and a little bit of distance to it. Don't go out and tell your friends that it's all real because you're literally making a fool of yourself. Enjoy it for what it is. It's entertainment. And that's kind of all it is, to be honest with you.
And there you have it, folks. It's all LARPing. That's all it is. It's LARPing. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We had some fun. Thank you to Reverend Hamhead, Donna G, Dang Lizard for the super chats. Thank you. It was fun. Did you have fun, DJ Electra?
Amazing. I had a great time. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for choosing this topic.
Yeah.
I do not like the fact that you closed your eyes when I asked you to watch the video. I'm going to get you back for that.
You told me to listen to it really closely.
I did. I didn't expect you to
close my eyes.
To follow my instructions. I wonder if it got anybody. Audience, did it get anybody in the audience? I just wanted to get DJ Electra. I was hoping to make you scream. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Folks, please listen very closely to DJ Electra as she gives her plugs. Please plug anything you like.
Okay. Well, you can find me at djelectrafry.com. My YouTube channel is DJ Electra Fry. And I'm on Hack Right Studios every Sunday for Catch 22. That's at 10 a.m. Pacific. After the Blind Mike Project, sometimes we're late. And then Unboxing Eric Sunday nights. Why is my mouth not moving? I'm communicating to you telepathically.
Ooh.
Believe it.
Yeah.
Don't believe it. Either
You're-
way.
Oh, you're a spirit box. You're a
I'm
spirit box.
fucking spirit box between my legs. That's where I'm talking from right now.
Ooh.
And yeah.
I've seen this before. Is it smoking a cigarette too?
It will be shortly. Thanks for having me, and you guys are always great. I love the show. So
Thank you so
and
much.
happy birthday.
Oh, you hear that, Corn? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Let's see here. Oh, let me remove this. Yes. Thank you so much, everyone for being here. Okay, got a little bit of announcement to make on future shows, or the next 2 shows, actually. We are going to have a watch-along party on Friday. My guests are going to be Dylan from Somewhere, Spurg Snake, Gummi Chainsaw, and Trucker Andy, and we are going to watch the greatest copyright-free movie in the world, Miami Connection.
Fun.
Nice.
Yes. If you haven't seen the movie, don't go look it up. Do not. Watch it here because it's going to blow your goddamn mind. It's the greatest movie ever made. DJ Electra, if you're free, if you'd like to join us, if you know anything about the movie, do you know anything about the movie Miami Connection?
No, I've never seen it.
Okay, let me just tell you the plot real quick, but promise me you won't look anything up, okay?
Okay, promise.
Okay. It is a 1987 movie about an adult group of orphans that grew up together in an orphanage who now live together, but also play in a band while practicing martial arts, taking on ninjas in Miami.
Whoa. How could I have not seen that?
It is an amazing movie and with the greatest soundtrack ever made. It was a totally unique soundtrack. It is a fantastic fucking movie.
I love it.
Yes. If you're free next Friday, please feel free to join us.
Yeah, I'll be around.
All right. And let's see here. So yes, Spurg, I told Spurg to not look it up. Do not look it. I'm telling you, it is just don't. It's going to be so much better if you just watch it with us. I know Dylan does know about it. All right. So yes. So next Friday, we're going to be doing a watch along. And the reason is because, next Monday, the Monday after next Friday, is Memorial Day. And that is the day that we are going to have a very special guest. Mr. Shuli Agar is going to be on Skeptical Robot.
Woo, nice.
Yes. And so we can only get Mr. Shuli Agar at, I believe it is going to be noon Eastern, I believe. I need to confirm. On Memorial Day. That was the only time that he could book it, so we got to do it that day. He's a very busy man, and I am looking forward to that. Shuli's been very good to me, very nice to me, and promoted Skeptical Robot a lot. We will be talking about a fascinating story. The guy's name is Joshua Fabia. He was a New Age guru who wormed his way into the life of a famous athlete and was a total scumbag and did. The reason I'm only giving these details is because it falls right in line with everything we talked about with the ghost hunting stuff. It was somebody who convinced a very wealthy person of extraordinary things because he was a full-on con man. Convinced the man that he had spiritual powers, controlled his life, and ruined his career. The man I'm talking about is a famous mixed martial artist, Diego Sanchez. Is a fascinating story that's going to have some laughs, some tears, a lot of drama, and some crazy fucking visuals. So, Memorial Day, Shuli Agar, Joshua Fabia. Now, please also Check us out on Sunday, Unboxing Eric. And Thursdays, Unboxing Bigfoot it is. And we alternate with Unboxing Riley Martin. And I soon will be on the All Apologies podcast with Trucker Andy to discuss, wait for it, folks, the Sal Governale apology. For those of you out there who know what that is, you know how fucking great it is. All right. And let's see, what else? Hopefully Gummi, hopefully we're going to play some video games, stream some of those. We like playing horror video games. Haven't done it in a while. I think that's it. Oh, also, yes, if you want your own WWE intro, please contact Gummi Chainsaw. All right, so now the way we end every show is Mr. CornDiff's plugs and Mr. CornDiff's, what the fuck do we call it?
I don't know what it is anymore.
Yeah, it's a motivational quote.
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube at CornDiff or CornDiff.com or DirtDolphin.com, or there's some others. But main thing is, all science begins with belief that something is worth measuring, even when no one else sees it. Take care of yourselves and each other.
That's how I end my radio show.
Oh, shit.
Give us a wink. I love the wink.
Aww.
Good night, everybody.
All scared, you say your house is haunted and you gotta beware. But quite frankly, I can't take it anymore. I don't give a damn if there's some creaking in your floor. It's not a ghost, you're just a dumbass. No spirit would care about your boring, lazy ass. Nobody's moving pictures or opening your cupboards. You just got a goldfish memory, my brother. So don't call me with this bullshit. Oh, I'm so tired of dealing with it. It ain't a ghost. Oh! Why the hell are you calling me again? No, I won't come over, it's fucking 3 a.m. I don't care if shit is sliding across your floor, cause you'd probably piss yourself the second I knocked on your door. It's not a ghost, you're just a dumbass. No spirit wants to watch you jerk it and pass gas. Nobody's blowing shit around or rattling your doors. You just drink enough for 7 minutes more. So don't call me with this bullshit. Oh, I'm so tired of dealing with it. It ain't a ghost. Oh! No, I won't pay for a psychic or some bullshit detector set. You're the dumbest fucking person that I have ever met. It's not a ghost. You're just a dumbass. No spirit's got the time for your Cheeto covered ass. Nobody's opening portals to another world while you sit and stroke it to the Golden Girls. So don't call me with this bullshit. Oh, I'm so tired of dealing with You're just dumb. Oh Lord, you're so damn dumb.
That's right, it sucks.